Silver Guitar 2586, and today I have another behavior modification MK Ultra mind control video for you. And in the background we have some North Korean propaganda films. And it's interesting to look at the difference between North Korea and South Korea. Now South Korea is obviously influenced by the United States, since in the Korean War we pushed back North Korea from invading and taking over the whole island. But now they have this big conflict going on, and it's been years and years, and they haven't been able to resolve. And we have two different types of functioning society in Korea. We have a communist dictatorship to the north, and in the south we have a capitalist society like America. Now, of course, the economy in the South is booming, and in the North they have a very bad economy. One of the reasons they have a bad economy in the North is that you have to join the military or be involved in the government somehow to be able to make a good living. Otherwise, you depend on the government. I was watching this BBC documentary, and what I found interesting is that there's the North Koreans who actually will try to escape and come south. Now, in this documentary, which I'll leave a link below to, this North Korean guy came in, and he goes to like a refugee camp when he gets to South Korea. And what happens is he's given an income from the government, almost like just a welfare program. And what they do is try to adapt them to a capitalist style lifestyle. Now, this guy was unable to adapt. He couldn't learn how to live in a capitalist society. It was so different from how North Korea was. The government told him everything to do. He couldn't think for himself. So he tried to escape South Korea and go back north. Now, the South Koreans caught him, imprisoned him for 140 days, and released him back into the camp where the North Koreans live. Now, the government has cleverly designed this on purpose so that the South Koreans feel as though they're helping North Koreans, who are the enemy, and they come down to South Korea and they get, everything's paid for them, and they live, a pretty decent life. Now, the North Koreans and the South Koreans, this is kind of like a prize system between the governments. Like, the South Korean government will grab a hold of these refugees and kind of hold them as trophies to the North. And the North Korea, they use this in one way for the governments to kind of have, clout or show off in front of the other government. And then to the citizens, they keep prejudice alive because they still want the conflict. This is very interesting behavior modification right here. Now, you understand that we have propaganda and slogans in the United States, in the United Kingdom, in Australia, anywhere in the world. We have designed slogans that are given to us, and then a lot of people just mimic them, right? It's easy to see. There's, in America you have the Democrats and the Republicans, and they all have their chosen points of view that you can only speak if you are a Democrat or a Republican. Outside of thinking of those, you can go into a different party, but you're not worth anything in a political frame, right? If you don't agree with what they had to say, you just don't have your opinion voiced. The North kind of models after Adolf Hitler, and they model that they're a superior bloodline and race. They also do the same marches as Hitler did, and they put out a lot of propaganda pieces like Hitler. South Korea has modeled after the United States of America with a capitalist society. And the conflict here is that, these refugees are coming down and they're getting their benefit, right? And they're getting their benefit, and the South Koreans who pay for their benefit don't get a benefit. So now they are, kind of angered at them, and it causes a prejudice. Now, North Korean propaganda films you have to keep in mind the North Koreans cannot think outside of the box whatsoever. If they speak their mind that has something against the government, they get killed, right? And if they're not part of the government, their life will not be well off. South Koreans, this creates a prejudice because they speak of the North Koreans as liars and exaggerators. All of them are, because they've been brainwashed, right? Um, and that's what the North Korean guy was saying, is that the prejudice is strong, and he wanted to go back to North Korea because of how strong the prejudice was in the South. These are two very interesting things because the governments benefit off of it, and the people still, the people push on the propaganda. And you can definitely see the two areas in which behavior modification is effectively used, because this is a choice by both governments to create this prejudice. And it's quite effective across the board for the agenda of either government, either communist or capitalist. Now, in a communist society, you are going to want to keep a very heavy fear-mongering program going on. You're also going to want to look as to the dictators as the god. You need to trust everything in that person. That person will take care of you. They will make the decisions that you cannot, because in a communist society, you're not allowed to make your own decisions or have any freedom of thought, because then you will be the enemy and you will be executed by speaking out against the government. You can definitely see a strong control of the people. Now, in a capitalist society, it's slightly different, but the media is also used to keep prejudice alive against the enemy. Also, fear-mongering is going to want to come into effect too, by nuclear warheads, this enemy over here, terrorists, insurgents, domestic terrorism, anything like that is used to fearmonger. And that has a big effect to create prejudice towards the enemy. And that is also behavior modification, both using the media and such. Now, in my cross-examination of both North and South Korea, I have found that America sort of has a similarity between both the North and the South, that they use both. There's kind of just like omni socialist and capitalist. Now, I can totally see the vantage points of using this modification and this theory and this game cycle on the American people. Now, with the poor in America, you're going to want to push this fear-mongering campaign and also socialism to get the poor to fight in the mighty military-industrial complex. We see this a lot from the North. This will benefit you in America if you're poor. You'll get to do a lot of things that you never would have done before. Same as North Koreans. However, in the South, we have kind of a anti-socialist style of policy brewing up, because they're going to have to help the enemy, the insurgent, and they're going to have to pay for their social benefit. We see that here in the United States, like I was talking about in one of my videos. One of my last videos, I was talking about how I live the same as people on social benefits, and yet I go to work, and the perception from the people on social benefits is that I have more money than them, even though we are equal. Now, this brings up a conflict between us, because I have to do something they don't, and I have to pay for them, and yet they want more, right? This was just a conflict that I had brought up in one of the last videos. So you see the socialism go against it. Now, what I found most impressive from my observation of this video, North Korea paints the picture to their citizens, right? And I also saw a North Korean YouTube video pitching this North Korean idea, is that North Korea is the the People's Republic of Korea, and that the people make the decisions there, even though they're ruled by like a monarchy, a dictatorship. This is how it goes down, and they're fed this propaganda similar to America on how the people choose the government. Now, we all know in America, or at least my informed viewers, know that we don't select a president. A president is predetermined. A president has given what to say, what to do. It's almost like a communist style gathering in the political structure of the United States of America. It's still a monarchy, it's still controlled, and we even have a major bank influence and such here in the United States political background. Recently in North Korea, we have seen China put a bank in, so this is a banking influence. However, I'm not going to leave the United States out of this at all. It seems to me as though like banking systems and the United States will run tests on certain cultures and societies to see how they will, affect American citizens, because we're all human, right? No matter what race, color, or creed we are all human, and we can use the same formulas on each other. Like I showed with before it got deleted from Mark Dice was the Mark Dice formula. And that was using fear-mongering tactics and combining it with pop culture in a formula to get views on YouTube, and it worked incredibly well. I had over 1 million lifetime views and 2,000 subscribers. Within 1 year, it ran up like that. So it's an effective test and formula that I used on YouTube, but if you look at it in a different sense, it would be very wise for a powerful government, or any powerful government, China, the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, all of these countries, to run test sites on parts of the world. Now, in the Korean War, we pushed back, the North Koreans from taking over Korea completely, and we turned South Korea into a capitalist society like America. Then North Korea turned into like a communist dictatorship, somewhat like Cuba, and then they had the North and the South, and the South mimics America, and the North mimics Nazi Germany. And you just see the impacts of culture and how completely different things are on that border, from border to border. Now, I mean, it's completely different if you go to Mexico from the United States. That border to border is very different. When you go to Canada, it's not that much different. It's a little bit different, but it's not that much different. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up. As far as banking systems go and play in there, there's like Zimbabwe, and then a lot of people talk about the Weimar Republic, which was before Nazi Germany, and such. Just how hyperinflation, the banks can go in and do hyperinflations. It's just very interesting stuff, and I think personally that the governments will take areas to study upon. One being for North and South Korea. We have a capitalist and a communist society living right together on the same island. And it's very interesting. I think it's a test. And that's what I wanted to make this video about. The mind control MK Ultra behavior modification. I'm Silver Guitar 2586. My channel got deleted, but I came back with the same name. So come subscribe, like, and share these videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Illuminati Church, church without a U, because Twitter doesn't allow that many letters. So Just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. Subscribe, like, share, and thanks for watching. I'm Silver Guitar 2586 signing out.